Leica Camera Italia. Leica Camera Italia che è lo sponsor principale di questo festival. E proprio da questa nostra presenza come sponsor del Festival di Lucca ormai da alcuni anni abbiamo fatto partire questo concetto, perché Leica è un'azienda che ha festeggiato l'anno scorso i propri 100 anni e che in questi 100 anni ha sempre avuto un suo filo conduttore, che è stato quello, paradossalmente per un'azienda che produce macchine fotografiche, quello di mettere la fotografia in una posizione preeminente rispetto alla macchina fotografica. E questo è sempre stato vivo nella storia di Leica, lo è oggi ancora di più, e a riprova di questo ci sono tantissime iniziative che appunto andremo a discutere in questo breve talk con Karin Kaufman, che è il direttore di tutte le Leica Gallerie mondiali, e con Fayed, che è il direttore di Leica Fotografie International e di tutta una serie di testate, di magazine che girano intorno al mondo Leica e di cui andremo un po' a raccontare la storia. Da qui in poi proseguiamo in inglese, spero che non sia un problema per nessuno. So thank you Karin, and thank Ines for being here with us. And I will start this small talk with some images, so we can talk better about everything later. And we can start with showing the video of the Oscar Barnack Award, the latest edition of the Oscar Barnack Award. The video of the Oscar Barnack Award. The Oscar Barnack Award is a prize with a very high amount of money given to photographers, to some of the best photographers worldwide, and we'll talk it about later with Karin. And this is the video made to celebrate the winners and the finalists of the last edition. contest, one of the oldest actually in photography. It's very open, as we've seen from the images. It's not limited to a certain kind of photography. How is this content and how it fits in the idea of Leica, of the commitment of Leica towards photography?
So first of all, benvenuti. I think it's all about storytelling, and Leica has a lot of stories to tell, because we had last year the 100th birthday, and we have a lot of photographers from the past using our camera with big names. And as you just saw, it's storytelling. Images are storytelling. And the Oscar Barnack is very important for us, as you mentioned already, one of the eldest photo awards worldwide. And we are a small camera producer in Germany as well as in Portugal, but that is not the most important point. The most important point for us is the image, and also, of course, the photographer and the eye of the photographer. And after that comes the tool, the little camera tool. And by the way, of course, we are producing the best cameras or the best lenses worldwide, but this is not important. And that's the reason why we have, since quite a long time, that means 35 years, our Oscar Barnack Award, and of course many other cultural projects as well.
Projects that span between contests, like the Oscar Barnack, like an Hall of Fame award that has been created, but most of all, I think what represents better Leica in this moment is that Leica has created, in the last 5 years, let's say, a network of Leica galleries that now are in every continent, and that represents really the idea of Leica of giving a home for photography, a home for photographers, not only in festival like here in Lucca or in Arles or elsewhere, but really a house, a daily house where photographers can showcase their products. Can you tell us a little about this?
I forgot something very important to thank you, dear Enrico, and also you, Andrea, that we have the possibility to show the Oscar Barnack Awards for the first time here at the Photolux Festival in such a nice place. And of course we also have, I forgot this to mention as well, we have our Oscar Newcomer Award since 6 years now, and we had a very nice and moving talk in the morning with you. Here, this is our Newcomer Award winner, Victoria, and the prize goes for photographers until 25. And so, since we have this prize since quite a long time, we have big names as winners like Berenico Giardini or Sebastião Salgado, Georg Larsen, etc., etc. And this is also a very moving history, having this prize such a long time. So once more, thank you, and I'm looking forward to next year and the next year having this prize here in Italy. Thank you. So the Leica galleries, it's also quite old. The first one opened in New York, the second one then in Wetzlar at Leica headquarters, and today we look proudly upon 13 Leica galleries around the world, and we will open another 2 next year, a big one in Istanbul, we just opened this year, one in Sao Paulo, also a big one. And we, as you mentioned, we gave photographers the platform to exhibit their work, and this is nowadays more important than before, in my opinion, because also documentary photographer, today it's difficult to have like newspapers to get assignments from newspapers, from magazines. And so, of course, we will come to LFI later. There's also, this belongs also to Leica. So we have different levels and different opportunities to present photographers, to give photographers a platform to exhibit and to tell their stories.
Yeah, it's in the end, all comes down to also to money, because we have to be clear. Companies can spend their money just in making advertising and promotions, or they can put money in some cultural aspects. And we have 100 years to prove that this has paid off a lot for Leica, because the association between Leica, the greatest photographers, and our cameras, it's something that goes back a lot. How important was Henri Cartier-Bresson for Leica, and also how Leica has been important for Henri Cartier-Bresson. So I think this is what it's all about. And in us, it's a big challenge to make such a wide portfolio of magazines all about photographers, but that comes down to a camera. So it's how is the relationship with these photographers? How is also the last two, the Leica S magazine and the Leica M magazine have worked?
Well, maybe a little bit for the background of the LFI magazine. It was established in 1949, so it's a pretty old magazine, and it started as a regular photo magazine, giving space for photographers from amateur to professional photographers. When we took over in 2003, we changed the magazine a bit, and now we're trying to give space for the storytelling. We heard about the important thing of storytelling before, to give photojournalists and photographers in general, artistic or photojournalistic working photographers, the space and the room to really expand and tell their stories in a proper way. We started last year or the year before, I don't remember, it's the M magazine that is especially dedicated to M photography. And there we go one step further, because we say, okay, we give them a lot of space for showing their work, and it's rather a book. It's rather more a book than a magazine, but still it feels like a magazine. And then we tell very completely different stories, starting from journalistic work to artistic work to photo essays in a different way, and the complete focus is on the image, so we don't distract it with typings or with anything else. It's just the image that should speak in a story for itself, and we combine it with a text, of course, interviews or text explaining what it's all about.
And I think it's the same also for S magazine, yes. A little bit different, because there we go more to really to inspire and support professional photographers with their campaigns.
Yeah, with the M magazine, it's basically mainly photojournalistic working photographers, and with the S magazine, as for the system, it's rather a commercial system, medium format system for commercial photography. We do the S magazine for featuring commercially working photographers, like we did one issue with Rankin, we did one issue with Enrique Badalescu, and the last issue we did, it's not a commercial photographer, but it's, I mean, we did it with Bruce Gill, and he did this big stories on, well, people that are normally not looked at, and he made these very close portraits just to give these people a visible face and to say, look at these people, these are part of our society, and we have to look at them as well. And he did this with the S magazine to really show each detail of the spaces that are not beautiful in our normal sense of beauty that we conceive as beauty.
Karin, we just last year, to celebrate our 100 years, you and Michael Kötzler created a huge exhibition that started at CO in Berlin and in Hamburg, and dedicated to 100 years of Leica photography. ideals of photography, because if we take 100 of the most iconic images we know about the 20th century, it's likely that 90 of them were shot with a Leica camera. If not because it was at the time, in the 60s, in the 70s, were probably the most advanced tool for a photo reporter, for a photographer. How was born this exhibition, that by the way will arrive also in Italy? It will take some time because it's booked out everywhere.
Yeah, this was something very special, 100 years of Leica photography, and Michael Kötzler, the curator of this really huge exhibition we started in Hamburg, as Andrea mentioned. We had more than 500 images and a lot of icons, and this is the biggest photo museum in Germany, and it was the most successful exhibition they ever had, and we didn't expect this at all. So it went afterwards to Frankfurt, it was in Berlin, and it will open in Vienna next week, and we go further to Munich, to Porto, to different countries around, different cities around the world. And it's in a way really a special kind of looking to the world, a special eye of photography, a special camera, of course. And I often say it's the camera, it's the Leica camera, it's more like an instrument, it's a tool. You work with it, you play with it. You not only just push the button, it's like you also need time to get closer to it, to like it, but then you have your best friend. That's not my quote, it's a quote from a photographer. And yeah, this was 100 years of photography. We also have a big, huge catalog with it. I think it's a Leica Bible. It's, I think, 5 kilos. But it's really impressive what is inside. And yeah, it's booked out until 16, and I hope we will have it in Turin, in the really wonderful new museum, camera museum, then in January, yes. And also, of course, if you don't know the wonderful gallery from Milan, and it's also represented here with an exhibition here at Ducato, Palazzo Ducato, yes. And it's wonderful also to be represented as a gallery in a photo fair. So thank you, Andrea, for taking care of that as well. And as you mentioned, I mean, just to produce camera and have so many different cultural projects. As you mentioned, also we have this Leica Hall of Fame Award since 6 years. We give really important photographers for their life work. We started with Steve McCarry, then Barbara Clem, then we had Nick Wood. We have Nick Wood here with his most famous picture in the exhibition as well here at Photolux with the Napalm Girl. Afterwards we had René Bouri when he lived, and we had Thomas Höpfer, and we will have this year Ahad Güler from Turkey.
It's interesting because since it is also a double commitment. A commitment with the 100 years Augenhaus exhibition and the 100 years of Leica photography with the Leica Hall of Fame. It's a commitment towards the history of photography, the heritage of photography, the legacy of the great photographers like we and with Enrico decided to do here in Lucca, because to present an exhibition we had the idea of presenting the creation, one of the most important works in the history of photography by Ernst Haas. That is something that, even if it's so modern, it's really 50 years old as a work, or 60, between 50 and 60 years old. And by the way, it's incredibly modern. And so So on one side there is this big commitment towards the legacy of great photography of the 20th century, but on the other hand, Leica has a strong dedication to the youth, to the talents of photography, to the young photographers. We have here Victoria, that is the winner of our latest our award, and the Newcomers Award, and it's important, and we do it both on the contest, but especially on the magazine, because you have the courage also to showcase the work of young photographers that are not famous, and we are somewhat of which we have been the first one to publish something, and now we have WordPress photo winners, great photographers, and I think that LFI has been one of the tools to make this.
Yeah, that's what we try to do, is that we encourage younger photographers to use Leica cameras as well, because we think that it is a good tool to do special stories that are close to people, close to social issues, where you maybe don't want to work with such a big machine running around with a big, huge camera with a big lens. And in order to encourage people to do, we loan them some cameras for their project. So they can apply to us and send us their projects or ideas they have, and we see if it works or if it fits into the editorial project we are heading to, and then they get a loan from us, and then they can do their work with a loan camera. So, because we are aware that not everybody can afford a Leica camera, and especially young photographers will have problems with that. So that's what we try to do, and then of course we give them a platform for showing their work in a very nice and high quality produced magazine like the LFI magazine, as well as online, where we have our own website, the LFI website. That's a regular website with news and everything. But we have this League part, for example, where we show the works of done with our cameras and published in different magazines. It's from Time to Times Week, whatever. Yes, part.
And it's very
So this is, maybe we start with this one. This is the S League, where we have the same in the commercial photography field, where commercial ads or campaigns that are shot with the S camera are published on our S League website. So people can look at very different works, all done with the S camera system.
And I think it's really important. We have a huge story behind, but we really have to take care, and we do this for also the photographers today, to be able to tell stories from today to the future. So this is because we also really look, because often Leica is in a way in a little corner with analog and only history, but we really also work on photographers from today and new talents from today.
So this is the League website, where we present the works of photojournalists around the world, doing stories on social issues, on crisis regions, on ecological topics, whatever is interesting and what should be told in the world. And all of these stories are done with M cameras, or with Leica cameras, not all M cameras. Some have their own, some are multi-class, and so they produce their work and can, of course, present and sell this to the regular newspapers and magazines in the world. So it's not all, we don't need to only publish it in our life, but they are free to publish it wherever they want.
I think it's a really also democratic and meritocratic way of creating possibilities for photographer, because probably it's the only magazine, it's one of the few publications where you're not linked by the content only, how much much the publisher is interested to the political or social meaning of what you did, but probably also more about what is photography at its purest form.
Yeah, I think this is what we always try to do, that we really say, okay, we start from the visual point of view, and the first focus ever always is on the image. Of course, there are a lot of interesting stories told with photography, but not all are visually really strong. And so this is we really try to take care of the strongness of the single image, of the story told, and the way the photographer used his ability or her ability to tell a story. And of course we're free, we're not a newspaper, so we don't have to be actual. We can tell stories that are like without time, that are timeless. And there are so many stories out there that are timeless because people suffer, and there's a lot of poverty in the world, and there are nice stories to tell as well. Reportages of people living in very remote places, you never see this. And as we know that a lot of magazines, they cut down their photography budgets, and so the stories shrink together, and maybe they get 2 pages or 3 pages, sometimes 4 pages, and that's it. And we have the chance to do in Alibi and magazine really, really long stories, and to really tell the stories properly in enough space.
And also some of the stories, of course, like also the Oscar Wilde Award gives from different galleries around the world. So there is also the platform on Kuli. This is shrinked in a way together, we work together, and so this is just giving the photographs a platform on different levels. So yes, and this was also a commitment, I just read it. For our 100th birthday, we came back to where Leica was born, in Wetzlar. We were before in Solms, that was near Wetzlar, but then we also did a commitment architectural-wise. And this is the headquarter we are producing there, but this is like to have the experience of photography also on different levels. We have a museum there, we have a little, one can't see it, a coffee.
It's on the right,
the Lights Cafe. We have a huge gallery there. Of course, we have a store, we have production, and so on. And also, you can see it's round like lenses. So this was also saying, okay, we go back to where we were born, to Wetzlar.
And by the way, in which one of the also most important things is the Leica Academia, that is now has become a worldwide reality. It was born almost 50 years ago in Germany, coming from the Leica school that was born in 1938. It means that Leica has always, since the 40s, has seen as education to photography its future. I mean, not only selling cameras, but explaining people why they should have a camera and what they can do with a camera. Even today, the Leica Academy is one of the most important assets of Leica, with thousands of people attending worldwide every year. And it has a home in the Leica, in the Lights Park, that is this new building. Not only a building, but everywhere is around a building that will grow also in the future. And I think it makes clear what is the idea of Leica in this sense. As you said, when there was the 100-year celebration, your latest sentence was, in the end, it's the picture.
Yeah, and also doing workshops not only in the academy, you also have in Milano a wonderful academy. They're doing workshops. It's really, I think, 2 a month or every week. Every week one workshop. So and also other Leica galleries, it's also an opportunity to photographers to give workshops in different Leica galleries around the world. And as I said at the beginning, it's all about storytelling, and pictures are able to tell stories. And pictures are able to stay in your mind, but not only in your mind, but can move you and stay in your heart. And I think this is something so special about images. And just sometimes when I come home late in the night, I try to remember what kind of image, what you saw today, stays still in your mind or in your heart. And there are only, of course, a few. You see a lot of images the whole day long, but it's interesting to take care what really attracts you, what stays with you.
I think the nice thing is that when you speak with a photographer, even the biggest photographer, the ones that very often are here, or the ones that you can meet, when you tell them what is so special about Leica, and I don't mean the camera at this moment, they sometimes say it's like a family. And we feel part of the family, even if they don't use Leica as much for their work and they use other cameras. But Leica, it's a small family photography. And I hope it can remain like this. And all the projects now, the Lights Park, the photo park that is growing now in Leica and everything, I think it goes in that direction.
Yeah, this is really a most important point to be part of a Leica family, and it's really, I meet a lot of different Leica photographers around the world, and it's always, I don't know what and why, but it's something special with them, and I always have the feeling we have something in common, and the photographer themselves, they are talking about Leica family. And we just had, in October, we had a celebration of photography at Lights Park, and there were photographers from all over the world, and it was really like celebration, a sort of family celebration there. And this is something special on Leica as well.
Thanks, Karin. I think if there is some questions. We are not talking about WordPress as before, that can be a controversial thing, but if someone is interested in something, just we are here. If not, thanks everyone for being here, and see you around tonight, probably at the evening at San Romano for the press meeting. Thanks everyone.